Hello fellow writers, the video you're about to watch is about bias. Meet Viviana. Like you, she's a student. And like you, Viviana struggles with understanding how bias can affect her research paper. Although we all struggle with different aspects of research, bias can be a difficult thing to detect. It can become stressful. After this video, Viviana will know what is bias, what is bad bias, how bias can affect your research, and how to use bias to strengthen your essay. What is bias? Bias is a personal or unreasoned judgment in favor of or against something. It's important to know that if the source is biased, it does not necessarily mean that the information is wrong. So how do we detect bad bias? When an author is biased, they use specific words in order to convey a certain emotion, such as exaggerated language. Through their word choice, the author will try to sway you toward their point of view. Oftentimes, they will have hyperlinks and advertisements in their work. For example, both Frank and Viviana have been asked to research and write about candy. Frank loves candy and says it is a necessary part of our daily food needs. He thinks everyone should eat candy for breakfast. Viviana hates candy and can't even walk down the candy aisle without wanting to vomit. She thinks it shouldn't even exist. Because of their bias, Frank's research will be focused on how good candy is, and Viviana's research will be focused on how unhealthy candy is. How can they use their bias to help them? In research, bias can be used to stay focused on your topic while researching. Sometimes you may have an overwhelming amount of sources, and bias can help you narrow down your sources. In your essay, bias can strengthen your thesis so that you have strong supporting arguments. So let's recap what we've learned in this video. Bias is a personal or unreasoned judgment in favor of or against something. How does it affect my research? It can help you narrow down your research and sources. How can bias help my essay? It can provide support for my thesis. Now we've helped Viviana feel confident about understanding bias. We hope that we've helped you as well.
Created using Powtoon.